Good evening. My name is Charles Darwin, and I am 42 years old. I was first born in England. My theory of natural selection states that only the organisms with the most favorable traits survive. I first observed this on the Galapagos Islands with finches.
Observe the finch eating the seeds in its natural habitat. Notice how the wideness of its beak allows it to be able to pick up the seeds.
They had different beaks based on seeds they ate. I also believe all organisms evolved from one common ancestor, branching out to all other organisms on an evolutionary tree.
Hello, my name is Plato. I am 65 of Greece. I do not believe in evolution. I believe in two worlds, the real world where perfect species live, and the imaginary world where imperfect species live. I believe God created everything, and everything is perfect in its way.
Hello, my name is Jean-Baptiste Lamarck. I am 42 from France. My theory is the change in environment causes behavior changes. I wrote the Philosophy Zoologique. My belief that living things evolved in an upward direction from dead matter. This means there was no extinctions, and simple creatures make complex creatures.
Hello, my name is Ernst Mayer, and I'm 83. And I'm German! I believe multiple species evolved from a common ancestor. I define a species as a group that can interbreed only between themselves. If a population becomes isolated, the genetic drift and natural selection occur, causing speciation. Evolution only occurs on species as a whole and not just one gene.
My name is Thomas Malthus. I am 52 from England. My main interest is population. I believe that if a population grows too large too quick, the food supply will run out pretty decent. I wrote 6 editions of an essay on the principle of population.
Hello, I'm Stephen J. Gould. I am an American paleontologist who founded the school of evolution called punctuated equilibrium. Being known as a second generation Darwin, I recall his ideas while adding more scientific meaning to it in a simple way. Writing hundreds of essays and books, I believe creationism is religion and is not scientifically valid.
My name is Georges Cuvier, and I am 32 from France. I believe that life forms don't evolve over time, which can be proven by the fossil record. However, I strongly support extinction, unlike my rival, Jean-Baptiste Lamarck.
In this debate, I hope to show my competition that natural selection is the bomb.
In this debate, I am open to learn about others' theories. However, I do believe God created everything the way it's supposed to be, and no changes exist.
I'm here for my brother Darwin, and I know that we're right and everybody was wrong.
Through this debate, I am here to prove that Germany is always right.
I am here to prove that population is very important to the evolutionary theory.
In this debate, I want to prove that Darwin's theories are correct and they're the only theories that have any scientific value.
My goal in this debate is to prove to my rival, once and for all, that my theory of the fossil record that disproves evolution is correct. So guys, what do you think this debate's going to be like?
Exciting.
Me too. I wonder if anyone's going to fight.
Definitely.
I'm thinking Lamarck.
Definitely Lamarck and Cuvier. I hear they got a bit of a rivalry going on.
I think Plato's just too calm.
I don't know.
He'll be the nice one.
Team Darwin!
Lamarck!
Here it comes!
Come on.
Come on.
Pizza! Evolution is caused by natural selection, where organisms with the best traits survive and the species adapts as a whole. All organisms evolved from a common ancestor, where on this tree of life, right here, is the trunk, and the more complex organisms that we see today are on these nice little branches.
I don't know if I believe in that. I'm not seeing the tree, personally.
But it's right here.
I'm seeing the tree, but I don't think my theory is the same as yours. No offense, but...
Are you trying to diss on my Darwin?
Calm down. Calm down. You need to calm down. Stop it. I know we're enemies and everything, but I personally believe that organisms just can't change into something else. I mean, like, I know I'm basically the opposite of all you guys and everything, but organisms are their own people, their own animals, their own plants. They can't just turn into something
But how do you believe
all
that
willy-nilly.
if humans didn't come from just... we
Humans-
weren't with dinosaurs. So.
We were created. The Bible says about dinosaurs. Am I correct?
Well, creationism is a religion, so I don't know why you're mixing up with your scientific theory.
Well, that's just what I believe.
Well, I really think that your intelligence is insulting a theory.
How
You're
so?
thinking too broadly about it. You gotta look in depth. As you can see, his theory is correct. The trunk of it is just the common ancestor, and as it broadens out, there's different species, and I don't see how you can't see that.
Because she's dumb. She don't know what she's thinking about.
What is your personal belief?
I completely believe with Darwin, and what I basically do is for people with low intelligence like you, I put it in layman's terms.
Wow. How insulting.
Yeah, you're stupid.
Anyone else have anything to say?
No, I don't want to talk to you because your intelligence
Talk
just
to him.
whatever.
Learn to know what you be doing, girl.
Well, my inspiration was Darwin himself. I loved his ideas. They really clicked with me. I understood it. However, what I wanted to do was modify it and put it in layman's terms so everybody could understand it and share his brilliance. But I do want to ask you, what was your inspiration?
Finches.
Elaborate.
Well, on the HMS Beagle, as a naturalist, I became seasick. So I was dropped off on the Galapagos Islands where I saw these nice, lovely little finches. And I'm like, oh, hey, why do they have all these different little beaks? And it just came to me that I saw them all eating some seeds, and they were all eating different types of seeds. And it seemed based on their beak style and shape that they ate different seeds. So I postulated, did these finches evolve and adapt to eat these seeds by having different beaks that were shaped through natural selection?
Yeah, I like that theory, and that's how I clicked with it. It seems so simple, but it explains so much.
Very broad.
Yeah.
Very broad.
My inspiration came as a young boy living in France, discovering how stupid your ideas sounded. Little finches are born with their beaks for a reason. They eat different types of foods for a reason. If all the finches ate the same type of seeds, then we would have a very small population. Finches would be dying left and right. They had to have different beaks at birth to eat different types of seeds so that they could all coexist in harmony, not in relation, but in happiness and peace together without competition.
However, with behaviors, isn't it like selfish and sneaky and stuff? So how could they be in harmony when they're all competing?
Elaborate.
Well, how you said, oh, they're gonna, live together and be in harmony. Well, the natural instinct of an organism is to compete for survival. So how could we be automatically born with it and, all come together as one happy family?
What kind of behaviors did you research with these finches on the island?
Some were selfish and some were also cooperative.
So this does suggest some sort of relation.
Like how in my theory, that it says the environment that they are changes the behavior. Maybe it changes their appearance too.
Very good observation.
Very stimulating.
Very stimulating
Yes.
indeed.
You're wrong.
I believe that all species are related. I mean, come on now, they derive from the same thing. There's no extinction. You go from simple something to complex something. Am I not right? It's all related.
Not the tree again. Not the tree. I can't do it.
On this tree, yeah, look at these complex organisms right here, and here's our common ancestor.
Exactly.
Take
It goes
that.
from simple
Excuse me. All species are not related, as you first stated in your early theories. God created species differently for a reason, like I stated earlier. No species is related by a common ancestor if there is no need for it.
But these branches cannot exist without the trunk. How do you explain that?
Why, these questions are so hard! What do you have to say?
I just agree with Darwin, and I think you're putting your religion into this debate, and there's no room for religion.
I'm fed up with you people.
Tree wins.
Yeah. Airplane.
Oh, these people. You do understand how I say that it goes from like simple to complex.
I do.
And modifications, and in modern terms, even embryos prove this theory.
Cuvier just doesn't get it.
So they are all different, but they're still all like from the same ancestor at the bottom.
Oh, yes, sister.
This debate taught me how revolutionary my work actually was. Many of the scientists here were actually believing the same thing that I have. And that really makes me happy.
Go Darwin!
I really learned a lot today about evolution. Being the outnumbered one and the odd one out kind of taught me to be more accepting of others' theories, and I might go back into my research and see what maybe I had wrong.
In my theory, I believed that God created everything. That there's two worlds split, the real one and the imaginary one. In the real one, everything is perfect and God has intended what he wants. And the fake one, all the species with mutations or differences are imaginary. What do you think?
I believe God has no role at all. I think it's all believed on fate.
I think organisms are just meant to evolve. They were made to evolve because if they didn't, they would just die. Because natural selection only picks the strongest organisms to reproduce. And if they didn't, then the organism and the species as a whole would just become extinct.
I can see your points, however, how are they first created? Like they just didn't pop up and say, oh, there's so many different species. How did they first become what they are?
Well, it doesn't mean it has anything to do with religious stuff. It could have been strictly science, and therefore, like, then fate took over and
Then
decided where everything goes from there, how population rises, lowers, where species come from, how they evolve.
Well, how was science created?
I just don't believe everything comes from a religious point. Like the complexity that has been brought, like with our old friend that isn't here right now, Darwin, how he says that ancestors branches off. It's like it starts from so simple to so complex, like things evolve, and depending maybe upon their environment or how things change, they change and become more complex. It never gets simpler. It just goes from simple, basic to complex, new, so many different things though.
I'm very open with your ideas, and I do respect your theory. However, in the Bible it says God created everything as it was. So why would he create something simple and complex at the same time, or let it grow, when if he intended to make it how it is the first time, there's no reason changing it?
Organisms weren't created as the complex creatures they are today. They became more complex based on isolation and parapatric speciation.
And could you explain that?
Parapatric speciation is when a species evolves over a vast area. The gene flow might be slowed down, so that causes different little subspecies in one.
So it still goes back to the main point that it starts
As simple
Yes.
and a more complex.
Yeah, it eventually evolves to greater complex. It might not go quickly, but over time it has gotten very
Yes.
complex according to the species.
If God had created organisms, or however they were created, because I'm not on the ones that believe, they were not created as the complex organisms we have seen today.
Okay, in my theory, it seems to me that if studying the population versus supplies and resources, it would truly show the survival of the fittest based on how you take care of yourself and how you react to the resources you have, whether it be low or high, and how everybody as a whole would react to that. And it would show like who would really survive out of all of them, who would be the strongest out of everyone to survive with their resources.
I do agree with natural selection. I do believe in that. However, I think it could exist without evolution. I do believe that the strongest will prevail and continue on with generations, but it doesn't have to drastically change to be perfect or complex, as you said.
No. Survival of the fittest does lead to evolution. That's the only way it can happen. Because if an organism were to die, because it would only be because that it wasn't suited best for its environment, and only the best organisms would still exist and they would pass on their traits, causing the species to adapt as a whole.
I do agree with that. However, I don't think the changes should be as drastic as you are implying.
But they are. I'm German! And they are.
I believe in God and I don't agree with that.
I do.
Knock, knock!
Who's that?
Oh no, there's someone at the door.
Ribbit! 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 I'm here to say that it doesn't matter if you believe in evolution or not. We're all people. It doesn't matter where we came from, as long as we can live together in harmony. And in harmony, I mean live in harmony with frogs. So stop killing my brothers and sisters with your dissection experiments. Ribbit! Ribbit!
I was very open with their ideas and was very impressed with their thinking. However, I do wish they would have been a lot more open with my ideas and my believing in God.
You will never guess who showed up. Oh, Kermit the Frog showed up. Thank God. I'm completely with him now. Completely. I don't care about Plato. My ideas. It's so Kermit. Save the frogs.
Oh my god, did you just see that?
I know, I couldn't believe it.
Best debate ever.
Best show ever.
I know. You know who I think is hot?
Ooh.
Gould.
One of the
Yeah,
most
sexy.
Such a hard
Oh my god. Well, I'm sure that you probably all agree with me that Cuvier is probably right with everything.
No, Lamarck. Lamarck.
I'm Darwin.
Plato.
Excuse me?
Darwin.
Lamarck.
Cuvier.
Lamarck.
You want to fight?
Don't even start with it. Don't even do it.
Okay, Cuvier's right. Okay.
No, Lamarck. Don't be
No,
next.
Cuvier.
Don't be
Cuvier.
next.